Hey everyone, how's it going? It is The Real Randy Chavez coming at you today with a VeVe OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. There was a tweet from Uncle Jeremy recently, probably going to be the thumbnail of this, which, Uncle Jeremy, if you're watching, how's it going, friend? It's been a while. I hope you're well. Tried looking for you at New York Comic-Con, could not find you. I don't even know if you were there. Maybe I'll see you at San Diego next year, or in Vegas if you're in town. Anyway, Jeremy's tweet, as many of his always do, because a lot of people follow him, got a lot of traction the other day and been the point of major discussion on Facebook groups and just on Twitter. So, for those that don't know, Jeremy Pador is a raging success, kind of like a big kid, just someone that I think that's the goal of many of us that kind of grew up on like the simple gaming, collecting things, fun, and such a success in life. Seems to be fairly happy, incredibly intelligent. His company, he's chief brand officer of Jazzwares, that if anyone's dated a girl the last 10 years, I guarantee you they like Squishmallows. Well, Jazzwares makes Squishmallows. And so successful that his company was bought pretty much by a subsidiary of Warren Buffett's company. So it's a Warren Buffett company. He's very good at what he does, incredibly intelligent, and is a titan in his field. That being said, he's been into crypto, and he has OMI, and to my knowledge, he's never sold. But where he's had the bulk of his success and the bulk of where he just shines is not in crypto. I hope he gets into it. I'd love to have a conversation with him about other undervalued cryptos, other businesses like VeVe that have a token that are majorly disruptive. They're innovative. They have good cash flow with them. I think he would really get a lot out of the conversation. And maybe some daCat, plushies soon. We'll see how the comic does on VeVe. Should do really well. Anyway, a guy named Abby's OMI burn says we had a new daily high. This is October 17th, so it's a few days ago, of 2.7 million OMI burn. We've burned 105, almost 106 million OMI on Stacker, at least as of that day. Comey having a nice celebration. Say, is it just us, or is breaking records becoming a weekly trend? Could get used to this. They have new daily and weekly records all the time for their OMI burn. Now, part of that is because they came out with this pretty awesome way to reward people that use the token to collect what they were going to collect anyway. And they say, if you burn X amount of tokens, or if you become the person that burns the most tokens, you get rewarded. And they give away 100 million OMI each month. Now, last month, that was $30,000. As of right now, this month, it's only about 17,000. Greater overall market for altcoins has just absolutely been just ravaged. It's been destroyed. No Vaseline. Got hacked. Anyway, OMI is no different from that. And yeah, same thing. Got kind of hacked. When does that actually take off? Well, that's what we're here to kind of discuss. You have Jeremy replying to this tweet saying 3 million a day is about 1 billion per year. To burn all the OMI in existence, he says it would take about 350 years at an all-time low. So let's just examine this quote for a little bit. There are about 305 billion OMI in circulation. So he's off by about 45 years. Not that you would ever want to burn the entire supply of OMI, because that would be ridiculous. But let's say 300 years, you have 5 billion left. Understand. Take a long time to burn all that OMI. But then he says at an all-time low. Well, all-time low would actually be quad zero. And Uncle Jeremy's been here since the all-time lows, when we were at like quad 03. We're at 00017 now. So it is a bit of a difference there. He says it's a start, but we need to burn 30 times faster and at higher valuations. Now, I understand, like, the more burns happen, the better optics it is, where you go and say, like, yeah, we are not just deflationary, hyper deflationary. Like, let's take something like meme linked. This guy named Pablo CRO that I've known for quite a long time. He goes in and he has I think it's called MK. Yeah, MK for meme linked. He has a website, and this is not sponsored. I don't think I have any of the token. If I do, it's a very small amount. He's got a website where daCat tends to be number one on there a lot, like all the time. And you can pay for certain perks on the website. You could pay for certain like listings to be featured there, to be sponsored on there. Why I'm currently stripping right now is because I have a daCat tattoo and I want people to know it. Anyway, daCat's number one on there a lot, and he uses the revenues from the website in order to go in and to buy back the token and then burn it. He's had about 99% of the token supply burned because of that. And that's, again, great optics. So if we go with the fact that burns are an end-all be-all, this should be like a multi-billion-dollar market cap, right? $672,000 market cap for Meme Linked. And again, because Pablo goes in and takes some of those profits from the website and goes to buy back the token, you have constant buy pressure, which is awesome. But once he buys it, does it really matter if it's burned after that? Again, it looks good, and there will be some people like, oh, yeah, he does that, he burns, and they'll just buy it, without really looking directly into the company, which, again, he's a beast, and I probably should get a little bit of the token. But, again, once you put that buy pressure on, it doesn't really matter whether you hold or whether you burn, because as long as you're not putting sell pressure on the token, well, the buy pressure is already done. The burning doesn't really do anything for the price of the token. And this is not Jeremy's first time talking about burning, which again, it looks good with optics, but David and Dan could burn 10 billion OMI each, and that's not really going to do anything for the price. Why? Because it doesn't put any buy pressure on there. A lot of people want them to burn, and I completely understand that people just want the price to go up. And as somebody that has put more into the token, like I have put more into the OMI token dollar-wise than 99% of other people. I could count on one hand, 5 fingers, 4, the thumb is not a finger, but the amount of people that have spent more than me on the token. So I would have more reason to want it to go up than anyone else. Understand want faster burns. Cool. Yeah, we could want that too for optics. And he said, and at higher valuations. Okay, well, how do you do that? You got to go in and you got to get more people onto the app. And by getting more people onto the app, collecting the stuff that they love anyway with the token on Stacker, that's how you get more burns. How do we do that? Well, celebrating the small things like VeVe has, or like Akomi has done over here in this tweet that Jeremy is responding to, I think is a good way. I think it's important to celebrate those things. Jeremy's tweet prior to this is when Akomi had said the OMI token is now officially available on Binance Wallet. The integration connects OMI holders to Binance, the world's largest exchange and infrastructure, serving over 250 million users globally. Learn how this token integration, how to participate. And David Yu retweets that, saying, big milestone for the Akomi community. The OMI token is now officially available on Binance Wallet. Marks a major step in expanding access to utility for OMI holders globally. With Binance Wallet's reach and security, it's never been easier to store, manage, and connect OMI to the broader Web3 ecosystem. More to come on this. This was back in August, and Jeremy had said, hey, David, I want to celebrate with you. If this is a clarification that OMI is now listed on Binance, I'd say that's reason for celebration. If not, can you clarify timing for listings on any major exchange? So again, just going over this, it has been very clear to me and anyone that follows me for like the past year that you would never want a listing on Binance because they tend to want 10% of the supply of the token. They want listing fees. It costs millions of dollars just to get on their alpha listing, which isn't even a main listing, just for them to consider your token. They are very predatory, and it would be a net negative to get OMI listed on there. So why was Jeremy wanting OMI to be listed on there? Why did many people want OMI to be listed on there? Because of optics, because they want the price to go up. And a lot of people think that, okay, if they just get a listing, if they can get on there, if you can buy OMI on Binance, the price will go up. That's not the case. You have OMI on Coinbase right now. You could live anywhere in the US, except for New York, because New York sucks. You could live anywhere in the US and you could buy OMI on Coinbase right now without even owning crypto. You could buy it with USD. But because it doesn't have an order book, people are like, oh, it's not a real official listing. But again, I thought people just wanted it on Coinbase. They wanted it on a big exchange. It just goes to show you that just because you're on a big exchange doesn't mean that you'll automatically moon. It just means that it's easier to access the token, which is great. It's easier to access the token now than it's ever been, but that doesn't translate into the price going up. Jeremy's tweet before this was in reply to Foster saying, we're grateful that through various partnerships and integrations that OMI is currently available on 5 of the top 8 exchanges in the world. OMI is currently listed on OKX, MEXC, Gate.io, as ranked by CoinMarketCap. The token was recently integrated into the Binance Web3 wallet. He keeps going on for a while. You know Foster, he writes books every time he tweets. And Jeremy says, Foster, please list the 5 exchanges. Please confirm that I can go on those 5 exchanges, type in OMI, and purchase the token. So again, he's really wanted exchanges for a while. On October 3rd, please provide an update as when OMI will be on a major exchange. Be specific. On July 3rd, we're going back here, Komi saying, Immutable X to base OMI bridge update. There was a deadline to migrate your OMI from the VeVe wallet on Immutable X to your Stack wallet, which was on August 1st. Jeremy said, this is so complicated. I have an idea. Big exchange and market OMI. And this isn't just him. He's just one of the biggest voices that, you know, are into the community that people listen to. Another tweet prior to this is meme coins are listed on major exchanges in one day. Do we have a logical explanation as to why OMI isn't? And again, said this before, a lot of exchanges, they just want the trading fees. And if OMI were to have a lot of volume, then they would get listed on these exchanges. But because the volume wasn't there, that's why they weren't listed. And Jeremy said several times that it's a sprint, not a marathon. And I understand that you want to be first to market, which VeVe was in many different ways. But also going on and saying that if we would have listened to everyone, where they, including me at times, like, hey, can we market a little bit? Can we, like, you know, just pay an influencer, like do something? And if they would have listened to every one of us, like, hey, can you market? Hey, can, you know, sprint, not a marathon? The company might not be around, because as we've seen, you saw Recur raise, I think, $50-something million, and they burned through that really quickly, and they failed. Granted, I knew they were going to fail. I called that, like, since early 2022. You have that with Cryptoys, the horrendousness that was Palm NFT, and then DC NFT, and then Candy, and then Futureverse, and you see that with a bunch of other platforms that are supposed to be VeVe killers, and then VeVe winds up outlasting them. A lot of people, they raise a little bit of money and then they burn through it. And if VeVe had listened to everyone and they had said, yeah, we're going to try to, you know, be the first to do this, they might be suffering the same fate as the others. But thankfully, because David has been doing this for a while and he knew this game, he decided, like, hey, let's wait on marketing. Let's, like, that big announcement from, like, April, May, we still haven't had that yet. I wonder why. Probably because they're waiting for the right time. Probably because they're waiting for that NFT bull run, which hasn't happened yet. It might happen this month. It might happen in Q2 of next year. We have no idea. Anyway, continuing on with the original tweet, Jeremy Powder says, if you want OMI to be meaningful, increase the burn substantially. This is a drop of water in an ocean. Now, agreed with him, this is a drop of water. Burning 3 million when there's 305 billion out there, yeah, super small. But again, I really want to say, like, we should celebrate the small things because it helps. But him saying, if you want OMI to be meaningful, increase the burn substantially. As we've gone over, burns are one part of the equation. It's like working out. You could work out all you want. If you eat like crap and you're drinking all the time, you're not really going to look that good. You're not going to hit your goals. If you have a protein shake after you work out, but still the rest of your life is sedentary and unhealthy, it might not mean all that much. A little bit, yeah. But it's all of these things together. You work out, you clean up your diet, you hit your protein, you get an adequate amount of sleep, you have adequate nutrition, you get your BCAAs, you take your fish oil. Like, none of those things singularly is going to make a big difference, but all those things cumulatively will help you reach your fitness goals. In that same way, burns are not the end all be all, but wait for that NFT bull market, do some marketing, you have the affiliate program, focus on VeVe and OMI, and you do some burns because we have enough utility. We have a ton of utility, more utility to come. But if you go in and you put burns on top of that, yeah, that could be the cherry on top, and that could be really great. So I agree, burns are, I think, important in that aspect as you want a complete picture. Who wants a Wendy's burger without the ketchup? You know, I think right now the burns are the ketchup, and it's not the thing that makes the burger, but it helps complete it. Anyway, these are just my thoughts on here, and much respect to Jeremy for just being an awesome person in general. But again, if we want to burn faster, I wish he would celebrate a little bit more with us, and I wish he would come back on the podcast to talk about certain things. Anyway, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, and everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Love you guys. Yeah.